Welcome back. Consumer behavior. Psychology, one of my favorite aspects to talk about. Behind all marketing is marketers trying to understand the behavior and the psychology, why people do what they do when they do it. So this will be an important chapter to take a look at. So really it starts with needs, right? Functional needs or psychological needs. This starts the whole aspect of consumers and their desire. Is it a need or is it a want? When looking at overall needs, is it functional, something that's going to get you through your day, or is it psychological, something that you really want but not necessarily a core need to get you through the rest of the day? So understanding the search and considering how different it looks, the internal search versus the external search. Internal search in terms of looking at things, understanding what you already know about a possible category as the consumer, looking at it from a standpoint of possibly asking other people or doing some other research. External search, look how all the information that's out there online. Let's take, for example, you want to purchase a TV. How many of you would just go into Best Buy to purchase that TV? I bet many of you wouldn't. You would probably go online. You'd probably look at the different prices, you'd probably look at consumer reviews and really have as much information and be an informed consumer, so when you go into that store you can really narrow down your choices and have a very good idea of what the type of computer is, what the year is, the price you want to pay, and any warranty as well. Even before you set foot in it, all those decisions can be pre-made based on an external search. And understanding obviously what are factors that affect your search. Perceived value, benefits. If you understand the value and benefits, say, of differences between a pair of Nike sneakers or a pair of K-Swiss sneakers, maybe the value and the benefits are Nike sneakers are going to last longer, they're going to make you become a better athlete, run faster, be stronger. Maybe K-Swiss, maybe the value and benefits are more fashion related or not so much athletic. So if you're really looking for something in a product that provides strong value and benefits to help your overall athletic goals, then maybe Nike's the choice for you. But this is how those factors weigh into that decision. The locus of control, understanding internal, more search activities, or external, more fate external activities. So understanding, is it internal in terms of how you look at things, or is it external? Everything in life has risks. Are they actual or perceived risks? Let's think about it. Think about some of the brands or products, and when you purchase them, what level of risk are you willing to take to have a product? Is it something you really know? Is it something you really need? So we'll go through all of these: performance, financial, social, physiological, as well as psychological, to determine which kind of risks are different ones and how they play into different brands and how they market with consumers. Attribute sets. What are the overall universal attribute sets that you might actually look at when selecting something, whether you're considering it in terms of sets of value or perceived benefits? So what are universal? What do you go for in terms of retrieving, external? And what are evoked? What are those ones that you're already aware of that all of a sudden know it? So let's say you're looking to choose where to go to dinner tonight. What are those key evoked choices that all of a sudden come out versus ones that you may retrieve or go out and search for versus universal ones that are out there all the time? Consider that. Slow your mind down and the process down to understand how these attributes really play into the different choices. Understanding the criteria. How many times, whether it's a car, whether it's Virginia Tech, whether it's a pair of shoes, a computer, or anything, you have choices. How do you evaluate those choices? How do you look at alternatives? How do you weigh the different aspects of it? This all comes into it. Why are some features of a vacation highlighted more than others? Depending on who you're marketing to. If I'm marketing a cruise, am I marketing it to baby boomers? Think about that cohort. Think about how much extra discretionary income they have versus a college student. Maybe am I marketing a cruise ship to them? Am I marketing spring break? What's the price point? Think of all those pieces as they come into play and how we market and how I'm assuming the behavior of my specific target audience will react to my marketing pieces. Looking at this for a second, let's take a look at 3 cereals: Cheerios, Grape Nuts, and Kashi. Let's look at the consumer decision rules. If the consumer makes a decision regarding compensatory decision rule, which cereal will they choose? 8.2, the highest overall. So in terms of compensation and what they expect back from a cereal with all the different identifiers of what they're looking for, taste, calories, organic, and price, Cheerios looks like it's the best one in terms of compensating for their needs. But if the consumer makes a decision based on natural or organic, who would they choose? That's right, Kashi with the highest rating point for natural or organic. So all of these weigh in. Sometimes you may not have a grid in front, but depending on what is driving your choice and how the brand really conveys those points as it relates to attributes, values, as well as benefits. Considering purchase and consumption. How many times? How can you increase conversion rate? How many times can you promote something, then drive them to a website, and then have them either request for information or download an article or do the actual action? That's the conversion when you go there and actually do it, not just going to the page and looking at it. It actually has to take and require some form of action to showcase on the other end that you actually download and took part in this and engaged within it. So looking at it from conversion, what about online? Considering all those abandoned carts, marketers for years have tried to figure it out. Do we inject a message to the consumer when they're idling for a little bit longer on online transactions? When they've done that in the past, consumers felt they were rushed with their purchases. Do we wait longer? Do we send a follow-up reminder about all the items that they never purchased? A lot of consumers these days do something along the lines of online window shopping, where they look at a lot of purchases but actually go into the store to make the actual purchase. All of these are definitely aspects that impact consumer behavior, what that consumer is thinking based on the product, the price, and all the environment elements as well. Post-purchase. Considering post-purchase and thinking about cognitive dissonance. How many times have you purchased something and maybe looked back and regretted it at the end? Maybe you purchased a pair of jeans, saw them online a lot cheaper. Maybe you purchased a computer, didn't work as it was supposed to. Maybe a car, anything along those lines. So post-purchase really kind of assesses your overall satisfaction with the brand that you've had, how loyal you will be with the brand, and any level of dissonance, any level of concern based on the purchase and what the final product you got based on all the information that you know about that product. So the consumer decision-making process goes into key pieces. One, of course, the marketing mix. The 4 Ps, promotion, product, place, and price, as well as save, solution, access, value, and education, always considering those pieces. So that's the marketing piece. From the psychological factors, attitudes, motives, think about advertising and all the marketing you see out there. What are people trying to market to you? What type of message is that? When Carl's or Hardee's markets about their new burgers, who are they speaking to? And is there a certain marketing message versus a Johnson & Johnson and when they market out? Think about those different messages. Think about the understanding of motives of consumers and why that brand is marketing in that fashion. Also considering situational factors, purchasing situation, shopping situation, when sometimes you need something for a specialty date, a special dress, maybe a special ring for an anniversary, versus other times when you're normally from a habit format. Every week you go to the supermarket and you purchase key items over and over again. Those are habits that you have formed. You trust the brand, you know the product that you're going to receive, and the purchase cycle is very short because it's very habitual at nature. And of course, social factors. So there's something that we'll talk about a little bit further, but it's called influential marketing. Meaning that if I said something to you about an aspect that you are very, very well versed in, it could be downtown or different locations within Blacksburg that you would recommend for the best place to purchase a t-shirt. Now I could tell 10 or 100 of your friends and they may listen to me, but if I told you and then you told those friends, that's much more of an influence, especially if you're known as a t-shirt guru. Understand the aspect of influential marketing and know that within social and all the marketing that we do, we have masses of followers and loyal consumers. But within all of those people, there are influential people within them. That one person that has a greater share of voice speaking directly to their team versus you saying it directly. That is the aspect of influence, that's the aspect of family. So how oftentimes do they impact your purchase choices? Psychological factors, considering where you are along Maslow's hierarchy. So from the core of physiological to needing food and water and food if you're stuck on a desert island, to safety, making sure you are protected, to going all the way up to loved, esteemed, to self-actualization. Where is the consumer in that motive process, and how's the marketer tapping into those specific factors? Attitude, what's the behavior? How are you feeling? Now, is it think, feel, do? What do you think? What are you feeling? And what are you doing? Or along that trail, are you doing something that made you feel something and then think something later? Considering affective, cognitive, and cognitive. And those three key pieces that really play into attitudes of consumers and understanding how a marketer markets and advertises to you based on some of those feels that may engage you with a product and have interest in order to trial. Learning and lifestyle, understanding both aspects, whether it's family, lifestyle, how your income plays in, and the type of lifestyle. Perhaps for college students, we wouldn't market to them a Rolls Royce, but perhaps for baby boomers, we would, or international trip all around the world. Based on those lifestyles, the demographics, everything that we understand, how that marketer really brings a message that resonates to the right consumer at the right time, on the right channel, with the right offerings. Social factors, considering family, considering all the different rewards. If you do really great, you've got accepted into a college, reinforcement from family, from friends. How do the social groups impact your choices? Culture, considering all the different choices and cultures and how culturally people are bound by that in terms of what they understand and what they share together. And culture can be a very, very powerful factor to look at. Situational, purchase situation or shopping situation, depending on, like we said, what's the purchase situation? Is it a need be at that moment, or is it something that you often do? Is it more habitual in nature? So let's look at two key things. What are you more involved in? Purchase of a new computer or your weekly cookies? Well, one may be a little bit heavier than the other. When you have high involvement, you're going to really engage, do a lot of research, and spend a lot of time. It's something that's very important to you, and it's not just something that you can do seamlessly and not even think about. You're going to spend time doing it, more attention, more processing, more research, to really understand what attitudes and purchase intentions you have towards it. So maybe you are a fan of Apple versus PC, but you'll look across every single one to determine really what is the best computer for you, and you may spend a lot longer over time than you normally do for products that maybe have less involvement, whether it's cookies or toilet paper or shampoo, something that you really wouldn't do a lot of researching for, and that really you would kind of work through, and weak attitudes, really not a lot of concern, and you're okay with whatever the outcome of choice is. Not a lot of involvement by you. Types of buying decisions, extended problem solving. Okay, extended problem solving could be an issue. It could be the need for a new car and how much problem solving to find a new car, to find a way to fix your car. Limited problem solving, such as impulse buying, and as we all know, POP, point of purchase. What is impulse buying? Every time you see that candy bar at the checkout stand, or something that you were going into, didn't expect to purchase, but all of a sudden, whether it's the price point, whether it's how it's marketed or merchandised, you now have it in your cart. And of course, habitual decision making, those decisions that are habit forming that you've done over and over again. Some of these, and going back to consumer behavior, can come from learned behavior. How did you grow up? What toothpaste did you use? What deodorant did you use? All of this pulls into it. And we'll see you again for Chapter 7 next time. Thanks.